Hello, wonderful students. Miss Stuckey here. I am going to give you your lesson for today. This is part two of your final. Hopefully, your sub has already passed out part two on paper so that you can follow along with me as I go through the instructions. Part two, number one, the directions are that students will use a Google Doc. Oh, let me change that. We'll use a Google Doc to create a historical stamp of themselves. There are 5 things that must be included on the stamp. Now, the stamp is of you, so please make sure that everything that you include on the stamp is representative of you. Number 1, a picture of you or some sort of visual representation. Please, appropriate visual representations. Number 2, state 2 things you'd like to be remembered for. Number 3, leave a statement to future 7th and 8th graders who will come after you. Let's add in there, will come after you. So what statement would you like to say to 7th and 8th graders who will come after you? Say next year, what statement would you like to leave to the 8th graders, or what statement would you like to leave to 7th graders? I don't know, something appropriate about what they need to make sure they do, or what they should pay attention to. Something like that. Question number 4, or number 4, a statement or quote that sums up who you are. So you might say something like a statement or quote that sums up who I am is live life to the fullest. Hey, that's a great statement. Number 5, finish this statement. If I could go back to the beginning of 8th grade, I would change, and then say what you would change. There must be something. Please don't say I wouldn't change anything. Even if the change is something very small, maybe you would speak up more, or maybe you would tell somebody something more often, or maybe you would tell students not to litter in the amphitheater, something like that. Number 6, what would you like to tell yourself now to make sure you remember it in 4 years? So what statement would you like to make now? And this statement, let's say if this statement could come back and be handed to you 4 years later when you are a senior, what would you want that statement to be? So you have to look into the future, as well as, think about how you are now, and hopefully think about where you would like to be, or what kind of person you'd like to be in the future. What would you like to say to you in the future 4 years from now? And then 7, please be creative and colorful. Extra credit will be awarded to those students who are creative and colorful. And then at the bottom here, I give you some examples from students that completed the assignment last year. I know it's a little small, but I meant for it to be small because I didn't want you to just necessarily, some of you, copy just what other kids wrote, but to kind of take a look and see how colorful some of the other students were. You could probably see some of the statements here that they wrote. And then you can go on, because this is about you. So it's not about you figuring out how to copy someone else's. It's about you figuring out you and how to represent you. So this is a stamp that will go on in perpetuity. So it's not like I'm going to show it to every kid every year thereafter, but I may send it to you in 4 years to whatever high school you're at, especially if you're still in Hayward. Okay. Any questions?